you know, it took me a while to kind of figure out what it is that I actually wanted to say, you know, because I knew for a fact that I didn't want to come on here and make a, rest in peace Bray, a tribute video to him in that regard. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of that out there, and I've never been one to really mourn for death. I more so celebrate life. Um, so I think that's important. And I didn't want to come on here and make some clickbaity BS video of what Bray meant to us, because I think that for the most part a lot of us can do that on our own time. I don't think we need a platform to express that, and no, nothing against anybody that does that. Everybody does things in their own way, but before I even sat down to do this, I ended up watching JD's video, JD from NY. Shout out to JD. um And when I watched his video, it dawned on me, a lot of things that tend to go unnoticed, within the wrestling community, more so WWE, and that's how greatness can become unrealized, you know, for a time, and there's been a lot of professional wrestlers who have gone to a point where you don't get to see what they're truly capable of until they get to be themselves, for lack of a better term. And I'm sorry if I trip over my words. It's this is just raw, but this is more so my anger towards WWE and AEW to an extent, but more so WWE, because WWE has had a chokehold on the mainstream for so long. And, you get to a point where you have so many talents that's under your umbrella who only get a chance to show what they're fully capable of under that main spotlight. And so many others who kind of just get pushed to the side until it's convenient. And I think that's what angers me the most about the situation, because you only get so many Stone Colds, you only get so many Undertakers, you only get so many Rocks, you only get so many Shawn Michaels, Triple H's, Ric Flairs, you know, at a time, and it's crazy to me because of the fact of how we have so many indie promotions and outside promotions who do it so well, where they're able to take a chance on people and be able to actualize what somebody's capable of. You think of a Matt Hardy, and the and him being able to just do the whole broken Matt Hardy thing, and that becoming a thing. You're a Jeff Hardy leaving, and granted, he didn't have so many personas that went far, but he was able to play around with certain things. Sting in TNA. We were able to get the Joker Sting. We're able to get the Icon Sting. We're able to get so many variations of Sting because they're able to play around with that. Hogan leaving a long time ago, to becoming, one of the greatest villains in the wrestling community, based on what he was before. The whole American hero, kids, eat your vitamins, do the right thing, and then being able to just allow himself to just fly free of the red and yellow and put on the black and white of the NWO. We don't get to see people just do what they do. And just for the record, as wrestling fans, we understand that everybody can't be at the forefront all the time, but that doesn't mean that you can't just allow some people to just do. We're so fortunate within, as far as WWE goes, to be able to have an R-Truth, go out there and do what he does. Now, granted, for shits and gigs and for laughs, yeah, it's easy for that to be a thing because you know anything for the cheeky entertainment, but he does it so well to where it's like, you kind of let the negative slide a little bit. But you think about the time when there were the Monday Night Wars, and you had people who did feel unappreciated and then leave to an not NW, but to a WCW to become something different or be able to do something different. When things felt so stale within a WWF at the time, you know, there was that luxury to do that because WCW ended up being that other promotion that also was able to have eyes from the mainstream, if not more, at that time. And AEW does have that chance to do it. Now, of course, there are situations within AEW and Tony Khan that have allowed certain things to not necessarily go the way that most people want, but it still is a platform that allows people to have that creative freedom to be able to do what they do and actualize what they're capable of. And again, this is why this is more in a situation where it's anger towards WWE, because we tend to lose a lot of people in situations where it's like they spend so much time under that WWE umbrella being stale and put to the side and bookshelved for a while, to the point to where they're either fed up and they leave, like a Cody Rhodes, like a Drew McIntyre. Well, he was let go, but still, it's kind of the same thing. Kevin Nash, Scott Hall. You get situations like them where they leave and they go do something for themselves and they become bigger than what they were before. And it shouldn't be like that. Especially if you are the big dog in the pro wrestling community. You should be able to set the standard for to say, hey, this is where the best talent that we have, that this is the best talent across the board. You're not going to get that anywhere else. You say that, but then you don't show that. You continue to show everybody the same shit over and over and over until the next blue moon, and then you get a situation where a Roman Reigns and the bloodline come through, and then you hold on to that and you push that to until the point to where people get tired of it, and then you don't allow anything fresh or new or something that the fans actually enjoy, decide to pop its head up and then just push that. You wait until people gripe and complain that you're not doing certain things, and then you do it. And then at that point, it's either too little, too late, or you've messed it up to the point to where nobody wants to see it anymore. And then it becomes a shoulda, coulda, woulda, or what could have been situation. It shouldn't take somebody to get fired like a Matt Cardona, who did have the fans behind him, for him to go to the Indies and show that he could be a potential main event talent. you know and that's the thing, and it's the problem, because we do have the luxury of having so many indie promotions that we can look to and go enjoy, but it sucks because they don't have that mainstream attention that WWE has. WWE, again, should be setting the standard to say, hey, we want to show what professional wrestling is and what it means to be that talent, what it means to entertain, which is ironic because the E in WWE is entertainment. Yet you're not doing anything entertaining, especially when it comes to somebody like a Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt, who wants to express his creative freedom so many times. And I get, just like Triple H said, it's so much going on where he needs to be dialed in. But if that's an understanding, if there's an understanding that's there, and you say, okay, you know what? We know that he can go off the rails with his creativity. and we know how we can fix that, then allow that to happen. Allow that to happen. Don't just wait until people start to complain, or you get to, where the talent becomes frustrated and it's like, you know what, I just don't want to do this anymore. Because that has happened. You get situations like, you have stuff just fucking hand wrapped and packaged to you, like a Karrion Kross, like a Keith Lee, like an Adam Cole, and you want to go the opposite direction with it instead of what actually works. And it shouldn't take that. It shouldn't take us getting to the point to where either somebody's fed up and wants to leave, or somebody just gets tired and not want to wrestle or deal with this business anymore, to where they just say fuck it, and we don't get what we could have been cherishing the whole time. Or the worst case scenario, we end up losing them, like a Bray Wyatt, like a Brody Lee. And we get to the point where then nothing gets savored. We have to sit here and wonder and speculate about the what could have been instead of what was or what is. This is unfortunate. And before you jump down my throat and say, hey, everybody can't be pushed at a time, it's easy to say this right now. Here's the thing. Most of us watch traditional sports, NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB. We understand that there is a roster full of people on each given team. We know that every single person who gets signed and drafted can't play every single game. Hell, there's people in the NFL who is fucking third and fourth strings who don't see any time unless something happens. Because we understand that in order for teams to win, they have to put their absolute best forward. That's understandable. As professional wrestling fans, we understand that there's only so much TV time. There's only so much, in-ring time that somebody can get in front of the masses. We understand that there's a finite amount that you can actually spread out. But that doesn't mean that you can't take certain time to allow people to express themselves, to give them time to be in front of fans. Say, you know what? Hey, does this take? When there was a lot of competition back in the day, as far as mainstream competition, which is why I'm so happy that we have an AEW now. When you have people vying for that mainstream attention, it allows WWE to get in that competitive mindset, and not in the saboteur mindset they have right now against AEW. They were in a competitive mindset before, where it's like, okay, we want their attention. What can we put on? Okay, go out there and try something. Go out there and see if you can throw something to the wall and see if it sticks. We had the luxury of that beforehand. And I'm fortunate to have grown up in that time. But we don't have that right now. If they truly looked at AEW as a full-on competition, or as a full-on competitor rather, we wouldn't have these issues. We wouldn't have issues where we have to sit here and say, push an LA Knight, listen to the fans, let Bray Wyatt do what he does, and let stop holding him back. There wouldn't be a situation where you would say, okay, put Roman on TV here. You would say, okay, you know what else can we put on that's working? You wouldn't have to call out to a Brock Lesnar every 2 weeks for him to get on TV, so that way you can get ratings, or call a John Cena every 6 months to get him on TV for, a special something, just so that way you can boost ratings for that show. You wouldn't have to call legend after legend after legend back, every fucking quarter to get more views on the product. If you just allowed the talent that you sign to do what they do and do what you sign them for, then we would have a situation where you would have, the next star coming up, or the next star that's here right now. You would have people who would be happy enough to go out there and put on 5-star classics every Monday Night Raw, every whatever NXT show happens, every Friday Night SmackDown, every fucking pay-per-view. You would have a locker room of people who didn't feel like their jobs were threatened just at the hit of a merger of something, or just because you had budget cuts coming, and now they felt that their job was on the line. You would have a foundation of people who say, you know what, I know that I'm good here, I know that they need me, I know that what we do here is good. It would be a shocker if we were to be let go. But you don't have that. You don't have that. You have people hanging on by a thread, morally speaking. I don't know. I didn't want this to be just a full-on rant. It's something that, as I sat and thought about everything, and I listened to a lot of people and the way that they talked about Bray, and, and a lot of things come up, that's on repeat, gone too soon, a great talent, a great mind, very fucking creative. We know this. We know this as fans, as a community. But the problem is, the people that we look to put this into fruition, or let this play out the way that it should, so that way we can see what we've always seen, but formulate it into a tangible thing. That's who we need to see it. Because if it just, if anything that's said falls on deaf ears, is it really heard? If you have a roster full of creative people, does it really matter if you don't let them be creative? That's my thoughts on it. But hopefully you all have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Hopefully, we don't have any more bombs dropped on us, for another year at least. Not wishing that on anybody, but it's heavy, man. It's heavy, and it's frustrating for us to lose another just fantastic human being. And we're and understand we were all fortunate to have seen what Bray was capable of. We were fortunate to have witnessed, a lot of things that he did leave us. It's just unfortunate that we couldn't see it, fully realized. So, but with that said, whether you loved it, hate it, don't forget to rate it, thumbs up, thumbs down, leave all your comments, concerns, well wishes for Bray, or your thoughts, and what he's meant to you, or what any wrestler that's passed on, or what talent is passed on that has meant a lot to you. But until then, I bid you all adieu, and then mainly, rest in peace, Wyndham Rotunda. You know, may your talent and creativity be realized for years, decades, centuries to come. And until next time, you beautiful, beautiful mother effers. Tag the fucketh out.